Konbanwa! What's up, guys? Masato here, back again with nerdy content where today we're gonna see, in my opinion, the best Kamen Rider suits from the Heisei era. So, without further ado, let's jump in. So, in here we're gonna be ranking the suits from D, never should have never existed, C, bad, B, okay, A, good, and S, excellent. Now, firstly for D, unfortunately, we have these. We have where is he? Xaid. Right. Unfortunately, in my opinion, X8 is listed as D because first of all, it's just kind of ridiculous to me because the hair and the fake hair and the goggles makes him look too cartoonish and it's actually too childish to me, and it doesn't really feel so exciting and doesn't really show action. But I really like how it's trying to emulate the idea of gaming and like the cartoonish aspect of gaming, which is the series' theme. But out of all the other suits, I believe that X8's main suit is the least is the least how do you say, it's the least exciting, I guess. Yeah. But moving on to C. First of all, we have, where's he? Oh yeah, Blade. Now, I like the Hercules beetle motif. However, the head and the single horn pointing up looks a bit awkward to me, and that's not the main part. The biggest reason I don't like it is that it's too bulky. And ever since I first saw it, I couldn't stand how bulky it is. I love the fact that it's a blue rider, which is kind of rare, but the bulkiness, its weird looking head, and also its round eyes makes it a little too friendly and a little too neutral. And personally, I kind of think Kamen Rider Chalice would be a better main rider than this. Moving on, Kamen Rider Forze. Now, look, Forze as a series is supposed to be comedic, supposed to be more child friendly than the rest. However, in terms of the suit, well, first of all, in my opinion, Kamen is supposed to be more on the action and less on the cutesy friendly stuff. But so I actually think that it's looks just too childish. Not only that, but the rocket head is to me a bit off. I mean, I understand it's about space, but still, it's still a bit off. Now, moving on, we have, where was it? Aha. Drive. Now, to Finlay is actually okay, but in my opinion, after watching Gaim, this was not much of an good impression. First of all, like what Finlay says, the tire is just plain annoying. I mean, I know it changes during like forms and stuff like that, but still, it's just too annoying. How can he like fight in such a big tire? He can't even move. Not only that though, I know he's a car themed rider, but the head, especially the what's it called again? I don't know, what's it called again? Like the thing which hangs on his head, whatever it's called, it just doesn't suit him, and to me, it's just it just doesn't fit. But what I really like about his suit is that what's unique is that it comes from his main vehicle, the the car he rides, which makes everything kind of unique and a little different from the rest of the other series. Now, onto a more positive side. B. Firstly, we have the last of the Heisei Riders. Zio. Oops, sorry. Now, apart from looking like an obvious rip-off in the middle, I actually like him because of the color combination, and like it does show how Rider like it does emphasize on how Rider like he looks, other than how it fits with, like, for example, the theme of the series. Like as you see, Force is a rocket, drives a car, but he's supposed to be something about time, but he looks nothing like a clock except for the head. But still, it still looks like a rider, and that's why, in my opinion, he deserves to be on the B list. To that, we have, where is he? Oh gosh, he's hiding. This guy's a mysterious one. Hold on. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Ah, there it is. Wizard. Now, as for Wizard, I personally ranked him a little lower than the rest because, first of all, he's almost monocolored. Like, his main bright color is red, and I know how it changes at times, like when he turns into different styles from flame to water to hurricane. But personally, it's monocolored. But what I like is that because it's monocolored, it gives more emphasis to the main element it's transformed into. But not only that, but its collar and the flaps surrounding its legs give it more of a very grand and more kind of like a magical sense to it, much like a magician, which is what he's supposed to be. Not only that, but he still retains some rider styled designs, which show fans will remember, like the horns and the stuff like that. But other than that, that's great. Now moving on, we have Kuga, the first of the Heisei Riders. Now, because he's the first, and actually because he's the first of the Heisei Riders, he hasn't really been exposed to what's new, so he still retains a lot of Showa designs. But what I really like about him is that he has a more regal, more, how do you say, monarchic. I would say more monarchic look. Maybe because it's set in like some ancient period. And not only that, but as the first series of the era, it's simple, it's simplistic, and I believe that that's what everyone should have, not something so grandiose and so complicated, but something iconic and memorable, and that's what I believe. Now, moving on. Ghost. Okay. Ghost is kind of cool, mainly because he has a hoodie and a jacket implemented into his suit. But not only that, though, he has his symbol in his chest, which is really really cool for me. Yeah. I don't have much to say about Ghost. Maybe because I don't really watch him much. Sorry, Ghost fans. Now, for the next one, Kiva. As a vampire, he looks kind of he does look kind of threatening in a way because, well, first of all, his head in actuality is actually inspired by a jack-o'-lantern, but e- even if that's the case, it still looks threatening. It still looks he still looks ferocious, and it just shows how heroic he is. But not only that, though, it's the use of metal and and the metallic designs on his suit, plus plus real chains, make him look tough. And unlike all of the other riders, and actually that's what I really like though. Moving on. Camera Decade. Like what I said about Kuga, he is simplistic. He doesn't really have much of a main theme other than the fact that he's a time traveler. But even if he doesn't really show his theme or his his theme for the series, he still retains some uniqueness to his design, and some, I don't know, some, how do you say, like, in a way he looks a bit nostalgic to me. He looks a bit calming for a series about nostalgia, but at the same time still retains his heroic appearance and stuff like that. Now, the last one for B, Ryuki. When I first saw Ryuki, it's kind of strange because I personally didn't like the fact that he has his eyes behind those cage like lines. But then I found out, oh, okay, fine, he's a knight. It makes kind of sense, but not only that though. In Kamen Ryuki as a series, there are 13 riders in total, and they're almost in uniform. And to look at Kamen Ryuki by itself, I just think of him as like the main hero, which he is obviously, but as the brighter, more, you know, more more brave, I guess. I'm losing words. More brave version of everyone else. But not only that, but I don't know what you call it, but the dragon on his left hand also makes something unique as well about him. Now, moving to A. First of all, Agito. After Kuga, as you can see, he still looks a bit like a Showa rider, but unlike Kuga, which I compared him to, he has, the designers had more attention to detail, and he does still retain some simplicity, but more colors are added and more unique shapes, more unique textures are added, which, unlike Kuga, which is a bit monocolored, his post Showa style armor is actually more futuristic and more modern, which gives it a more new and unique taste to it. Now, off to my first series, Deno. He's basically a train, but he's also a mixture of other things. For example, the Taros, Momotarosu, Uratarosu, Kintarosu, and Ryutarosu are all taken from legendary Japanese um, children's folklore. And if you see, the designers actually made a hint or a reference to one of them being Momotarosu. And as you can see, the head, basically the eyes, is actually a split open peach. But they made it in a way that it looks more heroic than anyone else. But not only that, but the the mixture between train and other design motifs make Deno quite kind of revolutionary for its time, actually. Now, O's. As of now, I kind of think of O's like the monsters of Geki Ranger because, strangely enough, the animal symbols which he uses in his medals actually show up on his chest, which gives off like a very not only an animalistic but also like it allows the viewers to know what powers he has, and it just makes them anticipate what he's gonna do. And I like how funnily enough, his colors are the colors of the traffic light, which is kind of unique. But at the same time, I like the fusion. I like how the design emphasizes the fusion of different animal powers which he has. And that's what I really like. Now moving on. One of the coolest riders in the world, in the Heisei world, that is, Faiz. He is more robotic. He's one of the most robotic. In fact, the first robot-based rider in the Heisei era. And really, it's simple, yet slightly more complex. As you can see, it is complex, but it still retains some iconic simplicity onto it. But not only that, though, uniquely enough, the designers chose a shark for the helmet. If you Google it yourself, you'll see that its horns are based off of shark fins, and its mouth has like fang-like designs. Which, if you look deeper into it, you'll realize that Faiz's design is more raw and more epic than this plain neutral looking robot which you see in the surface. Now moving on. W, or rather Double, happened started after Kamen Rider Decade as the second generation of the Heisei Era riders. What I like is, first of all, his cape at the back, his scarf at the back, which references Kamen Rider Ichigo, the first Kamen Rider in existence. And it does, well, look, it is simple, but I like how, like O's, it shows the fusion of its different powers through colors, which are halved. And that's what makes it unique, but I'm gonna repeat this every single time. It's simplicity, and that's what's making it iconic and so unique. But this time, its uncanny resemblance to the early Showa riders makes it even more unique and even more nostalgic for all viewers, actually. Now, finally, Hibiki. My opinion, Hibiki is the most unique, being that he is not a Kamen Rider. He's actually an Oni. Besides that, however, because he's an Oni, his design is more organic rather than mechanical than the rest. But other than that, he has monstrous details to it, like horns and like, look, the facial features are simple, but it gives off such a raw and such a powerful impact to it. And I love the color combinations of purple and red, especially the minimal use of red, which gives off some emphasis to how how powerful and how ferocious this ogre of a Kamen Rider, of a warrior, I guess, gives off. Now, I know I've been speaking a lot, but we finally got to S. The first one being, oh great, I have to go down again. Kabuto. Now, I'll say this again, but I believe Kabuto is a beetle. He's a beetle. But he is so slick. I'm taking that from Masato, by the way. He's so slick and so, kind of robotic, but it still, retains that, I don't know, that insect-like creature, but still trying to add on new futuristic details to it, which is a really great comeback, by the way, from Kamen Rider Hibiki. Now, Gaim. When my mom saw this, she thought it was ridiculous. But in my opinion, even if it looks as annoying as the annoying orange, no memes, no memes intended. I like the fact that the fruit-based armor do not look more warrior-like when it's being put on, and doesn't seem so obvious as it's a fruit. I mean, from this you don't see a fruit. You see a slick, beautiful samurai's armor, and really, it's simple, yet it just shows off. It's the historical. I would say this historical design, and yeah. Now finally, build. Right. He is simple, but all the more the shapes, the colors, all match. I mean, he's just like double. He has like two separate powers fused together, but unlike Den-O, which is simply halved vertically from right to left, he build has like his different parts and different colors mixed together. And see on the head, you'll see, especially on the eyes, that it secretly shows like two different images, a tank on the left and a rabbit on the right, but they still don't look obvious, and they all match up together, and that's the reason why I love it. Wow. So here it is, my friends, all my enemies as well. The tier of the best and the worst Kamen Rider suits in the Heisei Era. Ugh. Now, just to make sure, and just to remind you again, this is all my opinion. You can hate me, you can you can turn me into dust, whatever. But just remember, please respect my opinion, and if you respect mine, I'll surely respect yours. I humbly thank you for understanding that. Whew! Alright, enough talk. So, if you like this video, give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell to keep up with the channel. And I'll see you again in the comic panels.